All right. Hey, how you doing? This is Eric from AHA, Americans Helping Americans and AMP Live. Hope you're doing well. Today's Saturday training. We had some Saturday training in another group. Is actually an Ohio group. Pretty cool. First time, a little bit kind of weird. It was all kind of wonky, and I was sideways. And Erlene, she had her stuff right, but it was all good. Some good information. But we're going live right now, and this is live being stream live on several platforms across social media, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, you name it, all those different platforms. And then obviously this is going to be live and uncut right now, but eventually it'll be chopped up and monetized. So catch it all. If you got questions and you see this, definitely reach out. I may not, see it. I got to put these things on and nothing pops up to say someone's doing a certain thing right. But definitely watch it all the way through. Today we're going to talk about making offers on the phone versus belly to belly, the good, the bad, and the ugly, based on, hey, which one's better? Which one is, which one makes more money than the others, right? What's the concept behind both those, behind making offers on the phone versus belly to belly? What is belly to belly? All that means is, yes, going to the property, visiting people, walking the house, making offers, and going that route. And obviously the phone calls, you're making a phone call, making an offer on the phone, and boom, hopefully it works out. You get yourself a deal. Now, they both work, right? I will always say verticals, I call marketing verticals, so every vertical will work. And as long as there's a process that's plugged in, they're all set up a little, one at a time. Then you work those verticals. Same thing with the process of going after deals, negotiating deals, locking up deals, making offers, right? I pretty much like to keep it simple. Leads, right, to appointments, to offers, to deals, to close of escrow, okay? So, but when you're doing the other stuff, you're on the phone, you're making phone calls, and then you're going through the process. There is a process and making those offers online. Everybody's a little bit different unless you're studying from one type of coach or some sort or program opposed to another one. Everybody's going to have their own little flair. If you're watching videos and TikTok videos and things of that nature, obviously you're going to have to fill in all the missing pieces because you're not going to learn it all. You're not working with somebody exclusively to show you, hey, no, don't do that. Let's do this. It's kind of like even in telemarketing, right? But I'm going to do a little, I'm going to get into all that in a second. It won't be too long. I'm going to train. I'm going to keep going until we actually just shut it down. And then obviously tomorrow, I did not know, but it is Easter. So, I'm going to get out my Easter eggs here. We're going to color up these Easter eggs live. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to pour me a nice Corona right here with some lime and salt and pop a little tequila in it. I'm just kidding. Strawberry soda. But, and water. Got to have the alkaline water, right? So the alkaline water and a little bit of, drink. I like to do the beets sometimes with some of that the green stuff. What is it? Vegetables or whatever it is. Kind of smells like freaking grass or something that a cow would eat, right? And of course, beets smell like dirt. Nice, delicious dirt, right? No, my son used to eat dirt. He'd eat dirt claws. He was probably maybe some type of deficiency in the minerals of some sort, right? I know I've never eaten dirt. But then all of a sudden, I said I'd never eat beets either, right? But we'll grind them up and drink them, and won't eat them though. Yeah, I gotta grind them up, either a powder or get those fresh beets and crush them all up and make some awesome juicy, health drinks of some sort, right? That is pretty good. Even the shots and the ginger shots, but we'll leave that for Wellness Wednesday. All right. So, but hope you're doing well. I'm going to get into it real quick, be able to show my mug here. Boink. There we go. You can scan that QR code right there. That's all about our one-on-one mentoring program. Yes, I'm going to share it with you. It's what we do. It's why I'm here. It's why we're here to do deals, mentor others across the United States of America. I'll be your host today. AHA, Americans Helping Americans, and AMP Live, the American Mentee Program, powered by AMP Live Media and sponsored by VIP Execs Realty and Lending, Step into Excellence. So Americans Helping Americans is our basically a real estate firm, one American at a time, one family at a time, one property at a time, doing our part to get America back on track together with you and others across the United States of America. That is the jam for us. That's how it all started pretty much. It started before that, but then, it ended up being this right here. It's all about America. It's all about made in America, bringing back made in America, customer service, taking care of our clients, whether they're sellers, buyers, investors, or mentees across the United States of America that we work with, and yes, coaching students. I'll get into that one a little bit later. Hey, coaching versus mentoring, is there a difference? What's the difference? Yes, there is. Definitely, let's catch up on Thursday. So this Thursday, we got a webinar coming up, a live webinar. Eventually, we're going to be converting them to live meetups/webinar. We'll get in and do the meetup around 6 to about 7. At 7, we're going to get in and go live, share it with people across the United States of America and in-house. We're going to talk about creative real estate investing. We're going to talk about how to find deals. What the hell is creative real estate investing? How you can bring in the private sector and the public sector to come together as one, to work together in your business. And then we're going to share a little bit about my history, what I'm about, what's AHA about, what's the cause and mission, and what is AMP Live? What's the American Mentee Program? Why do we even have that? Why do we step into that? And why is it powered by AMP Live Media? Okay. There'll be sponsors like obviously VIP Execs, Realty and Lending. Might be some transactional coordinator type stuff or TCs, and maybe some escrow and title. Could be maybe some software. Anybody that we can gather to benefit you and help you out, we definitely want to do. That's the goal for 2025, 26 and beyond, is to just supply some value. And then in the meantime, we know we're going to find some good people who can punch their way out of a freaking paper bag, right? Who can follow directions, take action, and they will get results based on what we're doing together, right? So when you get those results, we talk about them, we rock and roll until you get your aha moments, no pun intended, for AHA. And you'll basically be, oh, I get it. All right. Why didn't other programs or other people share this stuff with me, right? And there's a lot of good programs out there, and there's a lot of shit programs. There's a lot of good mentees, there's a lot of bad ones. It comes with the territory. It's like anything else, right? When things are rocking and rolling, it only takes a few to ruin it for everybody else, right? Kind of like the wholesaling stuff, right? And now you got these states coming in, whining and crybaby shit going on. It is what it is. Don't give a shit. But it is. No doom and gloom. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't, but it's totally up to you, right? I'm not going to stress about. There's a lot of things you shouldn't be stressing about, right? There's no reason to. You only live once, right? So don't get stressed out. Read a book, decompress. Sometimes it's hard. I get it. We'll leave that for a while this Wednesday as well. All right, so scan that QR code. Let's chit chat. Let's talk. I'm going to put these on real quick. Make sure we're doing okay with what we got going on here. Okay. All right, so Saturday, we got the Saturday train, and we're going to talk about, yes, what's the difference, right? Which one is better? Is it jumping on the phone and making offers on the phone? Or is it going valley to valley? Okay, let's just get right into it. See if I make sure I got everything housekeeping done and all this good stuff. I think we got that. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Let's do our part for America, one American at a time. Yes, let's rock and roll. That's what this is all about. Just helping each other and getting together with each other in real estate. It is what it is. It doesn't have to be real estate, but it could be any type of business. You'll learn like from Sales 101 and all that good stuff. The stuff that we teach and what we do is part of the jam. I'm going to share this with you as well. So VIP Execs is our sponsor. Step into VIP Execs Realty and Lending. Step into excellence, powered by AMP Live Media. They're able to help you anywhere in the United States of America. If it's like a referral and you need some help in a certain state, California, same thing. You're looking for deals. Maybe you're looking for your own personal home, lending, all that good stuff. There's a couple of decades of experience there. Remember, our resources are your resources when you come aboard and work with us. And if not, just ask, and maybe I can point you in the right direction. And if it helps you out, awesome. Doing our part, okay? Just make sure you do the same for others, if you would. Of course, asking, for permission, of course. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to pull this up real quick so I can share this with you. Now, we got this going on Thursday, so this is Thursday. Now, this is going to be a thing that we're going to be doing every single week, every Thursday. We're going to go ahead and go live, and you can sign up right here. It's very easy. Attention all real estate investors. That's what it's going to be for. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned one, a broker, an agent, entrepreneur, business owner, e-commerce, so it doesn't matter. You just want to get into real estate. You want to kind of understand, get the mechanics and the basics going. If you've been beat up in the industry and you're still spinning your wheels a little bit and you're going, man, if I only had somebody to work with me and hold my hand, someone who's going to watch my back and I'll watch their back, right? Please, hey, work with me, be my mentor, whatever. That's what we're really looking for, to help out, because usually the best ones that we work with are ones that kind of been beat up in industry, to spend a few dollars here and there so they understand the power of investing in themselves. But just for whatever reason, it didn't work out on a few things. Maybe lost concentration, or maybe didn't keep your eye on the ball, or maybe life happens, something happened. It always does. Life happens. But you can fill this out, and we'll chit chat. It's going to happen on 4 days, 19 hours, 35 minutes, and 50 seconds. Right? That'll be Thursday, April 24th at 2 p.m. There'll be a Zoom, so it'll be taken off of all the platforms, and just it'll be totally private, and we're going to rock and roll. I'm going to talk about myself and how I got started and things of that nature. Then we're going to do some Q&A. We're going to talk about creative real estate investing, sub-2, seller, seller finance. There'll be options. There'll be rent to own. We're going to touch base a little bit of everything. Everything that is creative real estate investing, like an umbrella. So we're not trying to be the jack of all trades, master of none. No, the master of creative real estate investing, period, right? If you are on the traditional side, like a listing agent or a broker, hey, doesn't mean you're a jack of all trades on the traditional side. Just means that's what you do, right? You're either a listing agent, buyer's agent, or you're a broker, right? You're a luxury agent. Maybe it's a medium home type stuff, or whatever your niche is, you're going to find it. Same thing with real estate, right? With creative real estate investing, what I like to call the private sector. You're going to find your niche. I think once you get fired up with real estate, you'll get that bug, and then you kind of open up a little bit. We had some cool conversations today with some awesome people that are going to be coming aboard and working with us exclusively through AHA, Americans Helping Americans, and AMP Live. It is a selection process, so we usually got to chit chat, talk, see what we're all about. I guarantee you, we're like no program that's out there, period, because it is true one-on-one mentoring. We do partner up on do deals. We're gonna mentor you for 6 months across the board, all the way up to 12 months, depending on the situation. It is a done with you and a done for you program. Had somebody ask earlier, say, hey, well, what's the difference between these guys, and what you do? Well, we're one-on-one. For one, nobody does one-on-one truly, especially with the person on the marquee. So we do true one-on-one. Our team is your team. Our resources are your resources. It's a done with you, done for you program, meaning we're going to get in the ring. We're going to get you prepared so you can, at least when you get in the ring, kick some ass, and hopefully you don't get your butt kicked. But if you do, we like to jump in the ring too. So then we're going to jump in the ring, make sure that, deals start going sour or sideways. We're going to jump in, kick some ass with you, right? So that's the beautiful thing. I guess the best thing I can think of it is like Bruce Lee has, students, or they pass it on from family to family to family. That's basically what we're doing. Okay. It could be the same as a fighter and a trainer, right? There's a difference between a coach, difference between watching videos and PDFs, or even if it is a program, right? Hey, whatever works for you. Some people can watch that stuff and just get it. They're super smart, right? Others, me, hey, I got to touch it. I got to feel it. I got to smell it. I have to go through the process several times, so before it gets stuck into my brain, hit that trigger into the subconscious mind, subconscious to a trigger to the conscious mind, right? But anyway, sign up for this. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. We're going to have some other people and guests. So if we just want to keep on populating this and keep on rock and rolling this. And eventually, like I said, from 6 to maybe 7, it'll be, in-house if you want to come in. From 7 on, until we shut it down. It'll be live across the United States of America and inside in-house, or we might shut that part down and just maybe share a little bit of it. But that's the concept anyways. So let's go ahead and you go scan that QR code, and then we're going to go right over here, and we'll go back to just something that you can see. And let's talk about the two. So we got making offers on the phone versus belly to belly. I got some little cheat sheet notes here just so I can remember, because we like to talk about a little bit of everything. All right, so go ahead and scan that QR code for the one-on-one. I'm going to pull this up here. I believe, where's it at? All right, we'll just leave it there. We're good for now. Okay, so what's the difference? Let's start off with making offers on the phone, okay? Now, I've been talking to people throughout the United States of America. I talk to thousands every year, and we just keep the pulse, call some real estate, right? And Facebook and social media makes the world a lot smaller, so you can kind of touch bases with people, see what's going on in the area, what type of deals are happening, whether it's in Florida, Tennessee, and things of that nature. But there is a trend, right? And that's making phone calls and then trying to lock up a contract on the phone. I get it. That's okay, right? Doesn't mean it does not work. I always say when I got started, it was quality over quantity. Now that you have technology, you can actually grasp and capture the quantity over time, right? Because it's always going to be hitting them. You're not going to forget. The machine's going to do it. AI is going to do it. As long as you program the CRM the way it needs to, it's constantly going to do its job until someone, here's the key, until someone raises a freaking hand and says, hello, hey, I'm interested. Again, okay, great, no problem. What do you need? Get into it, right? Follow up. It is speed to lead, so you got to make sure you're doing that type of stuff, right? So the other thing here is making those phone calls. So obviously it's leads to appointments, to offers, to deals, to close of escrow, okay? So in the lead generation process, you're making these phone calls, making the phone calls. You know, what's how many phone calls you got to make, right? Is it 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 calls before you get 1 or 2 or 3 offers, right? Accepted on the phone? And is there a process, right? Everybody has a process. You're hearing some stuff out there like, you know, hey, you're doing like the car salesman stuff. Hold on, let me talk to the department and do this. Or you just like, you know what? I watched some videos. I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to, hey, get all the information I need, gather the information from the seller on the repairs, what's going on. Does it need paint? How big is it? You know, why are you selling? All those things, the things that we do is called the mission is the submission, right? So the mission is getting that submission. We teach, and what we do is we're going to use some psychology, some high trust selling with straight line selling. We call it the AMP Live method or the art of the deal, where we're getting all that information, right? So there's a little bit of psychology backed by it. There's some tie downs, there's some yeses and things of that nature. And we do it in 3 steps. So we're not just going straight down the form. If someone sees it online, they'll fill it all out. 3 o'clock in the morning, boink, you got a lead, right? You get a copy, we get a copy, our mentee gets a copy, and we start to underwrite it and work it. The other way is when you come on board, yes, you got to get on the phone, right? We train on all this, of course, right? We do the role play and all this stuff, make sure you break down deals and everything. Long story short is that we're going to go ahead and when we're talking to the sellers to make those offers on the phone, I'll be honest with you, right? I like going belly to belly because you get better deals. There's more problems, more issues. You're building a relationship with the seller to the point where the seller's not going to go, hey, you know what? Someone goes around their back and tries to circumvent you. You build that relationship with the seller, like how we do, and work with other mentees and do the same thing. They're like, no, hey. Plus, they're instructed to say, hey, if somebody approaches you, you know, they're going to be unscrupulous and they're going to go around your back. They're going to tell you and blow smoke up your butt and say they can get you more money or cancel the contract and we'll do this and this, right? All you got to do is here's our card, give them a card. And if they don't want to take our card, definitely get one of their cards and then give it to us. So then we know that we have those people and we're going to put them in the right, or you put them in the black book, right? In other words, we're not going to work with people that are unscrupulous and circumventing and all that bullshit and trying to go around people to do deals, right? So then we keep a track record of who's who, right? And the good ones, it's okay. They're not going to do that. They're just going to say, hey, no problem. If it doesn't sell, give me a holler. Or yeah, they'll take the card. They'll give us a call and say, hey, let's work a deal. Can we work a deal? That's what it's all about, right? But not everybody's like that. That's just human nature. It's going to happen. 97% of the people are honest. The 1% to 3%, right? Those are usually the ones that blow for everybody, right? And you got to be careful with them because they're unscrupulous and they're not going to, you know, it's not worth it, okay? But when you're making those phone calls, it's going to be a numbers game, you know, roll the dice, 50-50. And if you do and go through a process, can you get your closing ratios better? Sure, by playing whatever game that you're going to play to get those people to understand and stay on the phone long enough so you to get them an offer, right? Whether you got to do it on the first shot, second shot, third shot. We like to do everything on, we like to do everything on the first shot. Whoop, there we go. We like to do everything on the first shot and get all that information, get all that intel. And then if it's good, if they literally have a number, then I say go for it. Yeah, I need $300,000 for my $600,000 property because I know I need out of here. It's thrash and I'm just tired of dealing with everybody. Cool. It's a no-brainer. Write it up contingent upon inspection. Because we've done that before, and we go look at the property, say, oh yeah, it's move-in ready, it's awesome. You go in there, it's a hoarder pad, or it's half burnt down, or something like that, or the house is gone, it's just land, right? So you want to get stuck with stuff. You just got to do your due diligence, do your research, because it's going to help you from showing up with your pants down, right? You don't want to do that. So that's just a pro tip for you guys and gals out there is what you're going to want to do. But you can make those offers, I talk to people and they get them, they make them on the phone. But then we're like, hey, what happened? Where did they go? Well, they said no, they wanted more money, and then they ghost you, right? They don't call back, or they're just pissed off because you lowballed them. I get it. Business is business. So what? If you want to go, I call it spaghetti at the wall. You want to take a lot of spaghetti and deals and throw it at the wall. See what the hell sticks. It's going to be about a 50-50 shot. That boom, you call enough and you make enough offers, bam, 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 you'll get some contracts, right? But hopefully you built a relationship with the seller and you got what you needed out of it and you got the right numbers and making sure that, there's no foundation issues, there's no repairs of some craziness that's going on, cracked walls or termites or whatever the heck it may be. Because if you ask all the right questions, or at least take the time, and I notice a lot of people don't take the time to build that relationship with the seller, find out what's going on with the property. Some are awesome at it and they do it. And some are awesome at just writing offers and getting that stuff when they come across, right? And they got a process to lock up those properties. So it can be done, but you're leaving a lot of other stuff, because when they say no, or if they ghost you, or if they get offended for whatever reason, they take off. Now they'll probably come back. If the deal, what you offered them, is probably the best deal, if it is, awesome. Then they're going to shop around, either list it with an agent or another investor is going to get it, or they're going to go through the ringer and get, they're just going to get beat up, right? I always use the analogy of stew, right? Stew, you ever put stew or a piece of, a roast inside of a crock pot? You got potatoes and carrots and all that good stuff, and you cook it, right? When you put it in there, you can't eat it. The potatoes are hard, but you got to keep letting it stew, let it cook, and let it do its thing until eventually, the meat, you stick a fork in it, meat falls apart, potatoes are nice and soft. That's usually when a seller gets to that point, like, look, I just want this thing gone. Please, can you help me, right? And that's it. And if you work with them and do the right thing, you'll be able to help them, and vice versa. It becomes a reciprocal thing to make it a win-win-win situation. That's been, I guess, my philosophy forever. And people hear about it probably, through YouTube and stuff like that, but make it a true win-win, but really making it a win for the seller, a win for the investor, a win for us, right? At the end of the day, there's always going to be those people, right? And the win for the investor could be the private money investor, could be hard money, could be a bank. It doesn't matter, right? There's always going to be somebody in there doing that. Unless you're using your own money, it still should be win-win anyways, okay? So keep that in mind. So can it be done? Sure. People are doing it, but you're leaving a lot of money on the table, because when they say no, guess what? If you would have went a little further, right? You would have built that relationship, broke down that wall. They will tell you everything from birth until now. You made a friend, you befriended somebody, and truly going to go out and help them out. Now, if they say, I'm good to go, just send me a contract, here's my email, cool, and they sign it, awesome. Make a contingent upon inspection, a few other clauses in there. If you're going sub 2 with some sub 2 clauses with the option of going sub 2, and just in case, or if you're going to, whatever you do and you're being disclosure and you're being transparent with them, then it's cool. If you're telling them this is what you're going to do, then, it'll work out. If you're not transparent and you don't really tell them what exactly is going to transpire, then, things can blow up. And I've seen things blow up, or, they're either working with an agent, which we, on a couple other videos we had back, right, with, gatekeeper agents and unicorn agents, right? And being transparent. If you're not transparent, they don't know who the hell you are, and you're not doing that with a seller, then it's going to blow up in your face, it's going to backfire, and then you get the backpedal, and that just sucks, right? So eliminate all that. Don't make any promises you cannot keep. If you cannot structure a deal that's a win-win-win situation, then don't do it. Walk away. That's just my opinion, and that's what I'll tell you. My dad had some cool little little things he used to say, and he said, opinions. It's the old one. Opinions are like assholes, and everybody has one, right? So including myself. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a bookkeeper. I'm not a financial analyst. This is for entertainment purposes, so hopefully it helps you out. But at the end of the day, look, take some of the stuff, run with it. If you got questions, shoot us a DM or whatever it is at the end of the day, and we'll be able to answer those things for you and help you out. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here so you can see my mug, and then we're going to move to the next slide. So this is what we got. We like to do, we buy houses, right? We buy houses. Americans help Americans. We buy houses, ugly ones too, cash or terms, all that good stuff, right? The bottom line, when we're doing something like that, we're talking to the seller, they're going to ask about credibility and things, right? So make sure you scan that right there. That's going to be the Creative Real Estate Domination Live Networking Meetup that we just had up a few minutes ago. And that's going to be on Thursday. So just show up. You can show up on your phone. You can show up at home. You can be in your slippers in front of the fireplace. All good, right? Unless you're working that day or in the phone or maybe on lunchtime or whatever, take the time to definitely take advantage of that. I always say, look, opportunity comes and you open the door, or you knock the son of a bitch down. If the door is open for you, just walk right in. Okay, don't ask, just go in. The door's open. So there's a reason for that. All right. So let's get back to that. So credibility, they're going to ask about credibility. Who are you? Where are you from? Can I look you up? Boom, let them look you up and do all that good stuff. No, we're still on the first one, right? I'm not going valley to valley. Valley to valley be next. This one is just on the phone, trying to rock a deal, build that relationship with the seller, finding out. And I'll tell you, using our lead gen mission to submission, using that part is going to help you probably get better closing ratios when you're making those phone calls and trying to lock stuff up on the phone, right? And instead of a 50-50, you probably have a better chance. Of probably, I don't know, I can't really share with you what the numbers would actually be because we don't know what your skill set is, right? Like myself, I'd have a better skill set or a better closing ratio, probably 60-70%, because I know the process that I'm going to do with the belly to belly. If I decide to go with trying to lock a deal up on the phone, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through the same process as I would going belly to belly. It's just the process is going to take a little bit longer because we're on the phone, right? We're asking a lot of questions. We're asking about their family. We're building a relationship, find out what their situations and their pain points are, right? And sometimes that has to be a call or two, right? And it's usually an introduction from the mentee. So they've already got a full submission. We've underwrote it. We're going to make a phone call. They're going to tap me in. Hey, boss, friend, partner, whatever title they give me or us. Boom, tap in. It's time to rock and roll, right? And we're going to jump in and do our thing. And that's basically how that'll work. And we're going to go through the process to get on the horn. Now, if you, at the end of the day, and you're making those phone calls without help, I get it. You can try to make those offers 50-50. Maybe you'll get one, maybe you won't. But what happens when they hang up and they ghost you? What happens if they get offended? What happens if they accept the contract and then change their mind and say, I want to cancel, right? Because you didn't build that relationship with the seller. You didn't go belly to belly. You didn't spend that time with them. It's easy to say no on a text. It's easy to say, hey, no on an email, right? It's easy not to pick up the phone and do that stuff. But that's part of the gem. If you're pushing tons of volume and you're kind of doing like the boiler template or like the Wolf of Wall Street stuff and trying to slam, stocks and bonds with people, boom, lock it up, get the money. It's a little bit different, right? Where you're trying to do the same thing and lock up a contract, but then you got to do the dance, right? You got to work with them. You got to make sure that they feel confident and secure in what you're doing with the property at the end of the day, and they're going to look that up, right? So it's the same thing. It's throwing spaghetti at the wall. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, then you got systems to follow up with that stuff, and hopefully that makes sense. Let me go ahead and pull this one up. Here's our other one. So some of these are great for like door knocking. They're great for online graphics. All mentees that come aboard, we put this stuff together. You piggyback on AHA, America's Out Americans, and Amp Live, and then we start building out your brand and all that good stuff, right? But being on the phone and them knowing who you are and what you're about is super, super powerful, right? They're going to ask you. You got to make them feel comfortable. All right, so I'm going to pull this up so you can see my mug. And going through the process. So we go through the submission, we talk to them, we build that relationship, make them an offer. If it's a no-brainer, look, I always say, look, if you do enough volume, the no-brainers are going to drop down the wire and go, look, boom, yeah, just make me an offer and I'm good to go. You do all the numbers, it looks good. Boom, even if you got to call them back a few times, they get it. Most of the time, try to do it on the phone one time. If you can't, then you got to do your due diligence at least, right? Let me call you back 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and underwrite this and do my due diligence. And we like to wrap up that call after we get the full submission, right? And we'll let them know what's your best mode of operation. Is it email, text, phone? Oh, yeah, just shoot me a text and give me a call just with a heads up. All right, no problem. In case I missed anything, is it okay if I follow up with you a little bit later today? You're getting permission. Plus, you're getting a yes, right? You're getting a tie down. Yeah, no problem. Hey, go for it. Because that's only if the call ended good, right? And I get it. If you're trying to lock up a deal while you're on the phone, because a lot of them will do that. They'll get the information. What do you want for your property? How much do you want for your property? Oh, I want $300,000. Okay, well, based on my numbers, this is what I can do for you, right? 70 cents on the dollar. Minus repairs, or if you got enough information to determine what you think the repairs are based off of square footage, right? And based off of all that good stuff, and if you got enough good intel to determine if you built a good relationship with them, right? Then they'll tell you the truth 9 times out of 10 of the blemishes and the issues with the property. So then you can determine, is this $15, $20, 25, 30, 35? Is it a higher end property? I spend $50, $60. Do I got to spend more? And is that going to double when I do the roof and the electrical and plumbing, depending on the age of the home? And if they told you that it's old, right? All those are factors. Not to mention, here's a pro tip. Not to mention, yes, real estate is location, 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 right? Is it next to a school? Well, you got noise pollution, right? Value is going to not be as high. There's a park next to it. Some people go, oh, it has a park. It's awesome. No, you want the piñatas, or if it's in a good area, do you want the riffraff or just noise? No. And people and vagrants are going in and out of the park? Of course not, right? Is it on a corner lot? Cool. Is it a big lot? Cool, right? Is there a view? Cool, right? All those things are pluses. And then you got to look at the demographics. Where's the jobs? Who's going to rent something like that? Who's going to buy something like that? Where do people want to live? All those are factors that you got to factor in that most people don't. They just look at it. Hey, Here's the boring 70 cents on the dollar minus repairs. Then they go, oh shit, that didn't work. Then you got to keep running it through the machine, right? And hopefully it works out. That's great, but you're leaving a lot of money on the table because there you can go a little bit higher. Maybe it's some terms, maybe it's sub 2, maybe it's an option. Maybe, hey, maybe you could pass it on to an agent and make it reciprocal so you can have that agent do the same for you. Once you give them something, vice versa, they got to give you something. Yes, it's transactional, but they can become, and you can train them and show them that and turn them into a unicorn agent, right? And having a gatekeeper agent's cool too. Just means that they're going to work hard for you specifically if you hire them, right? To protect you when you're doing these transactions or any transactions. So that's my 2 cents there. But it is spaghetti at the wall. But we like to go, if you're going to do that, then you're going to use the art of the deal, high trust selling, straight line selling, the art of the deal, the amplified method, right? The mission is the submission. And when you're doing that, you're basically building that relationship. You will be able to get a better deal. You should have better closing ratios at the end of the day as well when you're locking up stuff on the phone. But the ones that don't, you're going to have to let the system follow up. But that's also if someone doesn't like us come along, or someone else who loves belly to belly, they're going to go belly to belly and they're going to talk with them. We're going to get a full submission. We're going to go ahead and build a relationship with them. We're going to share with them. They're going to share everything from birth until now. What's on the first? What's on the second? What's your interest rate? What's your monthly payment? When do you need to move? Why do you need to move? What's the situation? Why are you selling, right? And asking all that information, and then, hey, do you need to sell your house fast? Yes or no? There's certain things you have to say so they don't have to process and think too much, right? And then we're going to ask, what's on, any foreclosures on any bankruptcies? Have you received a foreclosure notice? Are you behind on payments, right? You keep on asking, you keep moving forward. Now, some will tell you because you built a relationship with you, and they're going to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm a couple payments behind. Or they're not going to tell you anything. It's okay. Then once we get to the point where on the mission to submission, there's a little section there, right? Call it setting the stage, right? I know it sounds silly, but I know when I was trying to figure out and locking up deals, and then, my mentor, and then reading some scripts and stuff, I go, that doesn't sound like me. I'm not going to say that. It sounds freaking weird. I would never even say anything like that until I wasn't closing deals. And here's my story, is that I said, you know what, I'm going to do it on this one. I set my mind to it. I did my whole walkthrough. I did my whole pitch and everything, sat down, and, I said it the way I needed to say it, put the pen down and shut my mouth, and the contract got locked up, right? It's kind of like magical words. It's just weird. People hear certain things a certain way when they're said a certain way. Someone can say the same thing that sounds like it's a certain way or the same thing, but for whatever reason, this doesn't compute. They're like, nah, I'm not interested in no seller financing or terms. But over here, they pretty much said the same thing in a different way. Didn't mention no seller terms or no seller financing or no sub 2 shit, right? They said, no, what do you want to hear? What's going into my freaking pocket? That's all that freaking matters, right? In so many words, right? Making it easy for you. So then they're going to go with that, right? And it's no trickery or anything. It's just facts. There's certain things you're going to want to say and do when you're talking with the seller. But when you're going belly to belly, you get all that information. We close it up and we'll say, hey, how you doing, John? Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. We're almost done here. Do me a favor. Don't hang up on me. Oh, no, of course not. Why would I do that? You've been great. All right, John. Got a few more questions. Like I said, we think we went through that. Said, do not hang on me. Do not hang up on me, right? And then you're going to say, okay, are you ready? Yes, I am. Okay, you sure? Yes, of course. I'm good. Let's go. That's 3 yeses, right? Plus in between when we're getting the mission to the submission, we're getting more tie downs, more yeses, more confirmations, right? Getting more information than intel. And then we go into call them 3 magical questions. They're not really, but that's what we've been calling them. I don't like it, but it is what it is. And we're going to hit them up. Would you sell? Okay, are you ready? Yes. Would you sell your house for what you owe on it? Yes, no, or need more information. Now, if you notice, we'll say it. Would you sell your house for what you owe? The reason we set the stage is because you do, without setting a stage, they may get pissed off. What do you mean? I'm going to sell my house. Oh, you're just going to try to lowball me and steal my house and this and that or whatever from me, right? But you'll be surprised. There'll be others that say, I don't care. Just take the son of a bitch, right? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Move on. Take it, right? So you'll be surprised. And there'll be a lot of times where they'll say no to all 3 questions, but when we get to the property and we're working a deal, it turns out to be a yes, okay? And then sometimes they will say yes, because they'll say, I need more information. The second one's going to be, hey, would you be willing to accept monthly payments in the form like of an annuity? Yes, no, or need more information, right? and they're going to say, I'm not sure how that works. Sounds interesting. Get some payments, some money up front. Well, I don't know how that works. Yeah, I can have some more information. Or they'll try to ask you. If you don't know, you don't answer it. So no problem. If you qualify, we will go ahead and answer that for you. We'll go ahead and get back to you on that. Is that okay? Is that fair? Sure, no problem. So we move forward and do the last one, right? Would you be willing to allow us to take over your monthly payments? Yes, no, we need more information. They're going to tell you, no, I don't want to do that. I need more information, or that sounds interesting. Maybe. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? And then we wrap the call, close it all up, right? And we're going to close up the call. We're going to ask for the mode of operation. Is it email, text, or phone, and all that good stuff, right? Any questions? Of course, if you're new and you're asking, do you have any questions? Just be careful, tread lightly, right? And if they come back and say, how much are you going to offer me? How long does this take? Are you going to buy this cash? Are you going to come and see it? What's the process? If there's something you can answer it. If not, say no problem. I'll get that question answered for you. That'll be, I'll do my best to come back and answer it. If I cannot answer it, I'll get the answer. I'll get it solved for us. Okay. So I'm just kind of moving forward and trying to look at different stuff here. So as we move forward, I'm going to share these things with you, and then we'll talk a little bit. If you got any questions, definitely do a chat, or send me something. I'm going to double check in here, see if there's anything in here. If you got anything, definitely I will answer it for you. I'm going to put my rock and roll in here. Cool. All right. I'm going to move to the next slide. Back to this here. Okay. Do some Saturday training. All right. So let's get back to the task at hand. And that's rolling that up. Now, that could all still be done, right? You can still do everything I'm sharing with you, which is belly to belly, but you can do it with being on the phone. You're just taking it a little further. Kind of think of it as like dating, right? You can go straight to marriage, or you can court the seller a little bit, even if it's on one call, even if you're going to hit them with an offer on the phone, no matter what, and kind of go quick, wham, bam, wham, bam, wham, bam, and knock out as many as possible so you can get some contracts, right? If you're good at it and you're good at breaking down deals and all that good stuff and ARV and everything and underwriting, you should be pretty good, right? But there are times you can still get 70 cents on the dollar minus repairs. And if you don't do it correctly and you're off a little bit, then hey, it's not going to sell, right? For whatever reason. Maybe it's the area, maybe it's demographics, maybe you didn't do your homework enough, right? But if you got it down, that's my thing. You should become an expert in your own area, right? From the east side to the west side, from, this side of railroad tracks to the other side, you should know the numbers by at least, 10, 15, 20%, 15, 20, $30,000 from this side to this side and all that good stuff. It's only going to help you, right? Because then you can hammer that stuff on the phone. They're going to sound professional. You're going to come across as you're the person that they need to work with, right? But you got to remember, you're providing solutions for their pain points, right? So you got to ask those questions. If you're not asking, you're just going straight to the jugular, right? Then, yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to be a crapshoot, 50-50. Throw the spaghetti at the wall, 50% is going to stick, and the other 50% is not. Hopefully you're working the rest of it or having someone else work it, and keep on rolling, and you'll get some more out of it, right? But if you do a little bit longer on the phone, building that relationship and doing kind of what I'm sharing with you, right, and close up the call and say, no problem, hey, I'm going to give you a call within probably the next 24 to 72 hours. I'm going to do my due diligence, and I'm going to come back with a couple of solutions or some offers. But for whatever reason, it just doesn't work out, I'm going to call you back as promised, no matter what, and I'll share my resources and maybe point you in the right direction. That fair? Yeah, sure, no problem. Hey, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But hopefully you can buy my property because I got to be out of here in 30 days. I got to be out here in 60 days. Whatever it is, they like you. If they like you, it's going to be awesome. We're going to rock and roll, but you still got to tread lightly because it is a business at the end of the day, right? Because if they think you're the decision maker, they're going to go to you. Say, come on, give me some more money. Or, come on, you can do this. You got all kinds of money. This is what you do for a living. You got, business, whatever. No, you always have to have that, either good guy, bad guy, or there's got to be a chain of command, period, right? And when you're working with us, we found out that a lot of people didn't have that or they didn't have the credibility. So that's part of it. When you come aboard and you're working with us, right, you can piggyback on Americans Helping Americans. Our stories will be your stories. Our resources will be your resources, right? And then we're going to jump in and help you close the first 1, 2, 3. If you get it, then you keep on rolling, but you won't be alone. We're going to let you roll, and then we're going to be there to make sure in case if the deal starts going sideways or going backwards or it's just not working out, got to get it back on track. Then that's what we do, right? Which I think is awesome, right? Nobody does that. Nobody's going to get involved. No one's going to get on the phone. Nobody's going to, if you're in California, go with you to a deal and help you lock up a deal. And then learning that in person is freaking awesome, simply because, look, we're all visual people, right? We're all based on muscle memory, touching, feeling, all the senses. That's why one-on-one mentoring with muscle memory, the art of the deal, the Amplified method works, okay? It works every single time, no matter what. You either get a contract in the first week, second week, third week, fourth week, or if it takes you a little bit longer, as we always say, it's not a race. It could be the second month, third month, fourth month. Shit, it could be the 6th month before you get a contract, right? And it's doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means that's your jam. That's your destination. That's your show. We're going to be here to help you get there, right? So you're not alone. That's the badass part about this stuff, right? Took me 4 months. Took me 16 months to build it out, and 4 months to get my first wholesale deal. First deal, period, right? And, but that's just trying to be a perfectionist, making sure everything's perfect, right? And I talked to some other mentors several years ago. I said, look, you're never going to have everything perfect. You're never going to have all your ducks in a row. I did talk to another young man in Texas. He's kicking ass and blowing shit up, and he said, man, just get that shit out there. Just put that shit out there, right? I get it, all right? That just comes to, I have to come to terms and get out of that box for certain things, right? We all live in a box for certain things. For us, creative real estate investing, agents live in a box. We live right outside that box, right? So I'm very, very, very creative in doing that stuff. And I love it. I love it, right? And I want to share that with you. Because once you learn it, it becomes a superpower and nobody can take it away from you, right? So once you close up that call and you wrap it all up, boom, if you can make an offer on the phone, cool. At least they're going to feel good about it. But then you got to remember, you got to send them the offer. You got to follow up. You got to touch bases with them. You can't just let it go and think you got a contract and you're done, right? You got to work with the seller to make sure. And if you're local, go view the freaking house. Go to the house, right? Go check it out. Go see what's going on. Because when you get there, and if you send someone else and they start looking at shit that you didn't look at, they're going to go, okay, this guy you got the contract wrong. This is not going to work, right? Go the extra mile. If you make it super simple for a buyer, if you're trying to wholesale stuff, right? Or even sub to and seller finance to someone with the wrap or whatever you want to do, you have to go through the motions, right? You got to cross the T's and dot the I's because you're an expert. You're a professional. This is your business, right? And if you're working with somebody and you hire people, they got to be a reflection of your business. If I'm mentoring you and working with you, you're going to be a reflection of us and what we do, right? And yeah, it could be, I'm pretty easygoing, but if you're not getting it the second, third time, I'm still pretty easygoing. But if we keep on making mistakes because it's you, right? Because you keep getting on the horse, off the horse, on the horse, off the horse, that's totally up to you, right? But there's nobody to blame but yourself. That's what happens. But we're always going to show up to the party, no matter what. Which is awesome for you. For us, hey, we want to get deals. We want to close some deals. That's where we really make our money, right? And then help you build your business, get your brand going, your LLC, and then doing business. So hopefully if we done our job right, you're like, hey, send it to Erick and AHA. They got us off the ground. Hopefully we paid it forward. Want to send it to them first. If we buy it, we work it, network it out, get it sold. We all make money. If not, that's cool. You can just send it. You're going to get it sold no matter what anyways, right? And the relationship is forever for as long as we're able to, work together with integrity, loyalty, and communication. That is the gist of it, right? So belly to belly. So that's that with that. But if you do the same thing when you're trying to lock up deals on the phone, you go belly to belly. There is an extra process. Yeah, we're going to go to the property. We're going to meet the sellers. We're going to befriend the sellers, right? We're going to work with them exclusively. So we build that relationship. It's a lot harder for someone to go around your back and circumvent. Whether it's a buyer, wholesaler, investor, doesn't matter, right? If you did your job really good, the seller's going to have some integrity and loyalty with you. That's our goal. That's what we build, right? That's Americans helping Americans right there. There's no bullshit. Right? Well, I don't think we've had anybody back out of any damn contract based on someone trying to offer them more money, trying to tell them, oh, don't go with Erick and AHA and them guys and gals, whatever, right? Ever. Sellers always come back to us and said, hey, they told me this and they said this and they said that. And then, I was thinking about this and I said, we got to have a chit chat. And then, they usually give us the card so we know who it is. Then we know who's being unscrupulous, who's trying to circumvent at the end of the day, build a little database on people like that. And then others are like, hey, that's cool. They'll contact us because the seller gave them our card. And then we work a deal or not, right? Or the seller's going to be, oh man, that sounds pretty good. I wish I could do this. But then we lay out the facts. Look, they're wholesalers, or this is what's going to happen. Or their neighbors will tell them, right? That happened in San Dimas with the older gentleman, right? They went to his house. They tried to wholesale his house. They had all kinds of people running in and out, in and out, in and out. They said, I thought you were going to buy my property. And then all the neighbors kind of ratted on those people. And the time we came there, we're just transparent. Yeah, you know what? You want too much. I can't get you that, but I could try to get you this. How about we just do a simple option? Boom. I'm going to wholesale it. We're going to market it. I'll put my signage out there on my dollars, my dime, because I want more deals out of San Dimas. He's like, really? You do that? I said, yeah, no problem. And he was a tough old guy too, right? He's, I think, a Scottish guy or whatever, right? One of those dudes, tough as nails, and had some money and property, wanted to leave it to his kids and stuff, and but won him over. And he exactly did the same thing, right? It's that integrity and that bond and loyalty, where all those other people were coming. Yeah, people steal our signs and take them. And then the neighbors would say, hey, yeah, some lady came and took the sign. I just want to let you know. I told Bernie that happened. So then I found out who it was, and we called him and said, you need to return that sign. You need to return that sign, or you're going to have the cops at your house, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that I get the deal and this and that, because there's so many people going out of the property. I said, well, you can't do shit like that. It's funny stuff, right? But, it is what it is. That's part of the business. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly. I told you that's what I'd share with you. I promised you that's what I'd share with you. Those stories happen. There's people that are going to ghost you. There's people going to tell you to F off. There's people who are going to say, look, hey, this house is awesome. And you get there and it's tore up. They totally lied. It is what it is, right? And sometimes they do it on purpose. Sometimes it's by accident. Sometimes they don't even know there's another loan on the property. Sometimes they don't know there's under liens and encumbrances on the property. Sometimes they don't even know because they haven't even been to the property in 5, 6, 7, 8 years, right? So things are going to happen. When you go in belly to belly, it's different. You build that relationship, but there is a hierarchy, right? I got a boss. He's got a boss. Everybody's got a boss. So they can't just go, hey, straight to you and say, look, I know you can do this for me. I really need you to help me out and give you the story and stuff, right? And plus, we explain everything on the phone as we move forward. We both get a submission. You get a copy, or mentee gets a copy. We get a copy. And then we do what? We underwrite it. Where's the money at? Is it a sub-2 deal, a wholesale deal, fix and flip, buy and hold? Where is it at? How can we make money on this? Once we go from there, then we set up a second call. Mentee calls the seller and gets us on the phone, gets me on the phone, and we're going to reiterate everything that's on that submission form. And anything that's missing, we will get. If there was a first or a second that popped up after the fact, because maybe they forgot on purpose or by accident, we're going to address it. And then if there's still money in it, we're going to let them know that's okay. We just need to get some more information from you, some mortgage statements. We're going to have to do a couple of things. Is there anything else we should know about? Liens, encumbrances, back taxes, all that good stuff. Federal taxes, please tell us. It's going to come out in the wash anyways. So you might as well tell us now. And, they will. So we'll go through that process. And then once we get that done, we set up an appointment, right? Hey, mentee, Eric, Joe, what time are you going to be there? Hey, what time can we be there tomorrow? Okay, let's do it Saturday, 2 p.m. No problem. We set the appointment. We move forward, but we let them know. If we're going to do this, we're going to move forward. I'm going to go ahead and come and visit your property. I'm going to have some solutions for you. I'm going to right now, and we're going to have some offers for you. Now, if we have a meeting of the minds when we get there, and we're bringing contracts because we're prepared to buy your property that same day, are you prepared to sign that same day? And they'll think about it. Maybe, maybe not. If they say, yeah, of course, if it works for me, then I'll do it. No problem. If they say, well, I don't know, I'm not sure, this and that, say, okay, well, when you get serious about selling your property, let me know, okay? Is it okay if I follow up with you in a couple weeks? Usually it's the takeaway. So they go, oh, no. Why don't you just come on by and tell me what you got, okay? Sure, no problem. Well, you got to reiterate it again. So just one more time. So if we come down here, because it takes time. We got to underwrite this. We're going to put the contracts and agreements together. You might have to get a notary and all that good stuff, okay? And we're going to walk your house and make sure you're going to give us a grand tour and all that good stuff. Then we're going to sit down and discuss it. So make sure you got about, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of time booked up, not booked up so we can chat and make sure but we're serious about buying your property. And if you're serious about selling your property, then we'll put a deal together. Fair? Fair enough? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Boom. Set the appointment Saturday. We just show up. We don't do follow-ups and texts and we'll be there in 5 minutes, this and that. No, we just go. Show up at the door. Knock, 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 knock. Ding dong, right? And we go in. That's how it works. And then we do the walkthrough, right? So I'm going to share a little bit of love with the art of the deal and the art of walking the deal. If that's okay with you, with your permission, I'm going to share it with you. Let me pull this up real quick. But don't forget to do this and sign up Saturday. This is going to be Thursday, okay? Thursday, 2 p.m. That's the real estate investor, real estate domination webinar that we're going to have. It's live, and you're going to learn a lot from it. There is after we're going to actually do some Q&A as well. We'll answer any and all questions you have. Then yes, there'll be a proposal to say, hey, you want to come aboard and work with us? Awesome. If not, that's okay. There's no harm, no foul. There's no obligation whatsoever. You make the decision. If we're a good fit, we'll rock. If not, that's okay, and we'll still continue to do business in some other capacity, hopefully, right? All right. Sponsored by VIP Execs Realty and Lending. Step into excellence. I'm going to share this with you real quick because I truly believe this. And that's why most fail in real estate without mentorship, right? That's what we do, right? I just know because that's what helped me. When I got my mentor, I took off. Of course, I had to go through the process to get my ass kicked, and then finally doing deals, get my ass kicked, do some deals, get my ass kicked. And then finally met Hal from Hal Houses, God rest his soul. Scan that QR code and lock in a spot. I'm also going to pull up one where you actually can just want to chat, you want to talk, book some time, we'll chat, we'll talk, I'll help you underwrite a deal or point you in the right direction. I'm not going to cost you a dime, okay? Because it's my time and I'm willing to do that for you and for others, all right? But scan that QR code. And I'll get back to Hal. When I had some skill sets. I wouldn't have learned the creative real estate stuff if it wasn't for Hal, right? He was doing, he was going to the bank, taking it to another level, going to the bank, negotiating on the first, negotiating the second, pay off heirs and all kinds of other cool stuff, right? And at the same token, I learned the lease options, seller finance, memorandum of options, agreement of memorandums, all these crazy cool things, right? And I said, okay. Then I started tapping into sub 2, subject to existing financing. That was by accident. By going, man, I got to figure out another way where I can buy this property without hard money because I don't have 20%. I want to fix and flip, and nobody's willing to allow me to fix and flip. They all want to just buy my deals and want me to wholesale it to them. And, so they won't let me fix it and won't give me the money. I don't have anybody giving me the money. So how else do I lock this sucker up? And with equity, almost like locking it up as a hard money loan or locking it up as a property that you would fix and flip because it has enough juice in it, and just using sub 2 to make sure that that the property was an asset and put into a trust and became trustee and beneficiary. The LLC did and controlled that property, right? So no one, doesn't matter. Hey, if I want to get a loan on it, right? I want to sell it, put on the MLS, we can. Somebody can go try to take it from the seller. They can try to go to the bank. They do whatever the hell they want. Nothing's going to happen, right? That asset belongs to the trust and the LLC, right? The seller is responsible for the loan. We're not taking over the loan or promising to take over the loan or any of that crap, right? There's no reason why someone can't put the property into a trust for legal and tax purposes because they're having some issues, and they hired a company to do that. So it's very transparent. Some documents get recorded, some don't. It's the process, right? Everything is transparent where people are going to understand and know what's going on. It's a little bit of a longer jam, but for me, it became protection. Look, I want to be protected. I don't want to have circumvention. I don't want people going around my back. I don't want the seller to do this or anybody to do anything. So there's a process to all that to set up the seller and educate them and let them know what's going to transpire and how this is all going to work, right? And then it's your job to go through and make it happen. Can you still sell off that deal? Of course. It's more valuable now because you can make more money by selling to someone else over and above a wholesale deal, because there's money in it, right? And it's locked in, and it's in a, I guess, a position where it's an asset, right? It's like a bag of gold. You can take that bag of gold and liquidate the asset into some green cash, right? So it's a beautiful, lovely thing. Scan that QR code. But without Hal, I wouldn't have learned that stuff, and understanding that, hey, there's different ways. It's a creative real estate, umbrella. I'm not gonna lie, I did do some Carlton sheets, right? You probably don't even, if you're young, millennial, Z, or what is it, Generation Z or whatever, you're not gonna know who the hell Carlton Sheets is, right? Let alone Ron LeGrand. But that guy's still alive and he's out and about doing stuff. Ron LeGrand went into retirement. I don't think he does anything anymore. Peter Conte, well, he came back, right? He was all single family, some apartments, and now he's all Mr. Multifamily. Cool guy, though. I learned a lot from his books. I learned a lot of verbiage, psychological verbiage, because I think his daughter was a psychologist or something like that. It was a cool book. I don't know what it is. If you want to know what that book is, shoot me a what do you call it, a DM or something, or send me a text or whatever through social media, and I'll pull it off the shelf and I'll share it with you, right? It was awesome. It helped me lock up properties just by saying certain things like I mentioned and then wrapping them together with Hal's verbiage and how he walked and his inflections in his voice, modulation, how he got higher and then lower, and just little things that he did to make the seller feel awesome and, and get the deal done, right? And then move forward, but still be stern and professional. And it was just, it's just cool. I learned a lot from him. So that's the thing with me. At the end of the day, I know mentors work, right? When you have the right one. But a lot of them are rocking and rolling, doing business. They're not gonna all mess with you. Just like me, right? I try to get mentors that, hey, help me, let me do this. I want to fix and flip and do all this stuff. So no, I don't have time. I don't have time for that. Right? You can go to work for me if you like, maybe. But if you do, I'm not going to train you. You better know how to break down deals and negotiate and do what you need to do, which I could have done. But I said, nah, this is my business. This is what I'm going to do. I have my vision, how I want things done. And I take a little bit longer to get it done as far as, the process of putting stuff together like a freaking franchise, because I know franchises don't fail. People fail. Brands are brands, and franchises are built to protect the brands. That's what I'm going to do for you. That's what we're going to do with AHA, America's How America's Amp Live, is to help you build your brand like a franchise without having a franchise, without paying those fees, but still being able to protect your brand in your area to be able to dominate in your area if you take this serious. That's what this one-on-one mentoring is all about. And I did tell Hal before he passed away, I wanted to thank him and say, hey, I want to say thank you for helping me out. And, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done what I've done and learned all this stuff, right? He said, Eric, hey, you just showed up to the party. You just showed up. You're the one who did all the work. You did this. I said, no. You believed in me. Could have ripped me off. Could have burned me. You took the time and, shared a couple awesome golden things that I put into my life and business and use them forever. So it was a gift. And he said, well, that's cool. I appreciate that. Right. And it touched his heart and vice versa, because it touched my heart and stuff. Right. And that's it. That was the essence when I decided to say, look, do we want to get into this mentoring and coaching arena, right? Do we really want to do that? Do you want to just sell videos and PDFs and Facebook groups with blind leading the blind and the kumbaya and all that bullshit? It's no different than a real estate group of the past. That's what they are now online. 15% rocks. There's nothing wrong with that, right? That's awesome. It's a good thing to be in there, right? And be in the mix. But sooner or later, you're going to say, man, I got to do this shit myself. Let's go. Boom, boom. Let's rock. Let's get some shit done, right? Enough of the kumbaya. Let's go rocking and get some shit and do some deals, right? And you will. You just got to change your mindset. You got to, put however you want to frame it, because I used to hate writing contracts. But then when I framed it and going, when I write a contract, I make money and I got a bag of gold. Excuse my French. Fuck yeah. Let's write tons of contracts, and this underwrite, and let's get some shit locked up and sold, right? Then it becomes a different game. It actually becomes a game. And that's what we're going to do when we're working together, right? So, without further ado, the bottom line is scan that QR code. Let's chit chat. Let's talk. And this is what I have for you, right? Real Estate Domination limited time webinar coming up on Thursday. Lock in your spot right there for the American Mentee Program. You can scan up there on this QR code, or you can scan right down over there somewhere and scan that QR code, right? And go from there. I know we got a little bit of something here. I'm going to change this out for the captions because it is not Friday highlights. That was yesterday. Nice. We got AHA, America's Having Americans across the United States of America. That's what we do. Private and secure. Instant offers. I'm going to share with you. Anybody who comes aboard, we actually put the stuff together for you. Like I said, it's done with you, done for you. Done with you means it's us working together. The whole goal is to help you get freaking deals so we can make some money, put some money back in your business, start funding your business. Once you do your first deal, I'm gonna say, go do something you've never celebrate your freaking win. Go do something you've never ever done before. Spend $300, $400, $500 on a dinner with your wife or your friends or freaking family. Go do something that something that's just crazy to get a taste of it, and then put the rest back into your business, right? And let's rinse and repeat. Keep on doing what you need to do until we figure out what your goals are, which is going to be in the beginning. Everybody gets a welcome email, micro goal sheet. Then we got a freaking target, right? Once we have a target, we know where you want to be, because a lot of people are just kind of shooting everywhere, bam, 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 right? And they're just spinning their wheels. Maybe they get into a good program and it goes so far, but they need that hand holding. Come on, let's go over here. Let's go. Come on. This is where we're going to do the deal. This is what's going to happen. And take the time, because most people are not going to want to take the time, or they're going to say, go do this, go do that. Give me this sign. Cool. Then we're going to go ahead and take care of this and get it all done. But they're not going to share how all the intimate details are working out. And you can try to figure it out. And if you do, then sometimes you're going to fall flat on your face, or you're going to get a shitty deal, or it's not going to work out. Or the one that's putting the deal together is going to make most of the money, and you're going to make, a couple of bucks here and there. At the end of the day, when I said we're going to do this, it needs to be reciprocal. And then, even my partner, so she said, man, we should be doing 70-30. 60-40 deals. We're doing all the freaking work, all the underwriting. We're doing all the negotiations. We're getting the son of a bitch closed to make some money. We should be like a 60-40, 70-30 split. I said, no, we're going to do 50-50 splits, period, right? Because I want you to be successful. I know it's a byproduct of us moving forward, right? We're building a relationship, and we're going to make money when we do these deals. Now, things have changed a little bit, right? Because if you get lazy and you're not doing deals, I'm going to say, man, we're going to lock this shit up. And then we're going to talk splits. Splits are going to change, right? You got to show up to the party and hustle. This is your deal, right? So, things have changed a little bit as far as that goes, but we're going to work it together no matter what, right? So that's the powerful thing. We're going to do our splits. We're going to rock and roll and do deals, but we're also going to do a done-for-you program, right? That means what? Man, now you need to set up this text marketing stuff, this CRM stuff, this ringless voice messages, AI, yeah, we're tapping into it. Give us another 6 months or so, because everything, whether if it's a piece of software that we test, it's 3 to 6 months. Talk to somebody who came out with some software. He's a programmer, this and that. So it takes you 3 to 6 months to test something. Yeah, fuck yeah. We want to know what the fuck's going on with the software, right? Whether it's going to work for us. And then if we're going to, share it with other mentees, I'll make sure it's going to freaking work, and the return on investment comes back, right? And this was somebody else who was trying to get some money up front, help us out, or make you a charter program or whatever. I said, that's cool. Whatever, works out for you, man. But I saw several flaws in what he was doing. It's not going to work. That's bullshit. You're going to get a lot of tire kickers and bullshit. Go for it. Have fun with that, right? But it is what it is, right? We'll look at software, whether it was Deal Machine, Batch, REI Reply. You got Real Flow. You got Black Book. You got all these CRMs, right? The good and the bad, the ugly, we're going to share with you. But ultimately, you're going to make a decision on your own. What do you want to do? Which one do you want to use? You want one with all the bells and whistles? Or do you want something with what? Just give me the basic shit. That's all I need. I can't use this spreadsheet and paper anymore because there's too many damn leads, right? I'm going kookaluku. I need something. So it doesn't matter. This depends on how much time you're going to take. We'll set it up and we'll put in the workflows. We'll do whatever needs to be done. Get your brand going, little websites for some calling cards, just so you can get that when you get to that point, right? We usually don't do that till about, after 30 days. You're writing contracts, talking to sellers, jump into 60 days, doing the same thing. Start working some tech. Start setting up your lead flow and lead generation stuff. Then start working on your brand, because ultimately it's going to be about your brand, right? What do you want to name your company? What is your company name? What is the LLC? How are you going to structure it? What do you want to do now, right? What direction? Logos, marketing, kind of like the marketing we have, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I always say, don't put the cart before the wheel and do all that stuff first, and then you suck at locking down deals, or your closing ratios suck. You're going to fall flat on your face, get frustrated, and go, shit, I spent all that money. That shit didn't work. It's not that it didn't work. You just got bad information. We're going to start from the ground up. You are the most important part of this. All the other stuff, just bells and whistles and tools to help you do deals, right? Because if it all goes away and you're not an expert in negotiating with the seller, it don't mean anything then. All that stuff can go away, and a lot of people are going to take a shit. They're not going to be able to function because they're relying on, hey, we're going to do deals on the phone. We're going to do text marketing, read his voicemail, all this shit, right? But with you with the skill set, put you in front of somebody, you're going to get the deal. The other people are not, because they suck, right? Their closing ratios suck. That's the most important part, is you working on you. Then we start building, kind of like the house, right? Build that foundation, build you. Then we start building all the other pieces and make sure they're super solid and we do it correctly. And if we got to double wrap the wires and all that good stuff in a house or whatever, then that's what we do, right? So we know that what's being done is solid. Cross the T's, dot the I's, right? Don't try to skip a step. If we try to skip a step, people do that, right? I get it. Some people are lazy. I figure I can do it faster. I can build a better mousetrap. Build that shit later. After you've done some deals and you got your business the way you want, and you want to start building do all the crazy shit, then go do all your crazy shit, right? There's going to be a method to the madness, so we can get you up and running and rocking and rolling, right? And belly to belly, there is the art of the deal. So when we get that stuff, when we go to an appointment. Now, if you're going to the property, guess what? We're going with you too, because we got these beautiful, lovely things right here, right? Boom. And it's speakerphone, and there's a process to it. Walking into the house, where do we go? And some of this you've heard, and some of it is true, and it really works, right? And you're going to go to the kitchen, break bread at the kitchen, put your stuff down, get the grand tour. Videos and images are done on the same call, the same day when we're there. Not same call, but when you go there. And then we're going to walk the house and befriend the person. Hey, there's a military picture. Hey, yeah, my uncle's in the military. He's a jarhead, ex-drill sergeant. Oh, yeah, I love German Shepherds. Oh, you got 3 kids going to college. Cool. You keep rolling, right? The same token, you're going to take a pad while you're writing this stuff down, right? Okay, I need some tile. Floors are jacked up or floors are cool. Kitchen, oh, that has the little square tiles, 1980s. Man, we got to fix that. Bathrooms, I don't know about the bathroom. We got to check that out, right? So everything they told you, we're kind of matching up and then looking for those blemishes and taking pictures of the good pictures. So in case we got to move it and push it and sell it, and then pictures of going, hey, we're going to share this with the investor. Kind of like eBay, right? Hey, just letting you know that that's all jacked up over there, the chip over here, and let it, even though they're going to come and walk the property, but we're giving them full disclosure, right? That's the way you got to be. And then walk the house, and then we sit down at the kitchen table and we break bread, right? We don't go face to face, right? We go like this. Here's the seller, and here's us. We're going to sit down. We're going to put paperwork on the table. Let's go, right? And we're going to share what we have. We're going to share why we're better than selling to a real estate agent or letting a real estate agent list it. Why you should work with us opposed to any other investor. Here's the numbers. Here's why we're offering what we're offering and why we can get this done very quickly if you choose to, based on what they share with us, right? I need my car paid off. I need credit cards paid off. I need some money for college. I need some money to move. I need to have at least $30,000 in my bank account after I pay everything off and have a little cushion. If the numbers add up and they work, that's what we're negotiating. That's when those seeds are dropped and the seller begins to sell us. And when they're selling us, there's no longer any selling involved because they're selling us, Erick, mentee, whoever it is on the other side that we're working with, right? You, right? They're going to say, if you can do this and do this and do this, you got a deal. No problem. I'm not going to get into how it actually all works, but belly to belly, you're going to get a better deal. You're going to rock a better deal. And you're going to have your seller as your freaking advocate. You're an advocate for them. So it's reciprocal. We got the human element rocking and rolling. It's a beautiful, lovely thing, right? Now, sellers will get squirmy. They will do this. They will do that. You know, it doesn't mean all of them are going to be 100% loyal, right? Money does some weird shit to people, you know, but at the end of the day, rules are rules. And sometimes when you got to be stern, we share that with you, right? This is how we're going to be stern. This is what it is. This is the way it works. And this is, boom. There's the documents to confirm what we're doing. This is how the transaction is going to work. And the seller has to follow through with it as long as you do, right? Because we're not selling widgets. We're not buying widgets. Everything's a contract and clauses and written and notaries and full disclosure, right? So you're protected. That's the beautiful thing. When you're working with us, right? And it's totally up to you. You want to get in the deal or you don't want to get in the deal. We're going to buy it from you or you're going to buy it from us, right? There's different ways that we work it. I'm not going to get into how all that works, but it's awesome. We'll talk about that on Thursday right there, the real estate domination. I believe there should be a QR code that you can scan real quick. Let me see if I can pull it up. AHA, Americans Helping Americans. See if this one's it. Should be a QR code. There it is. You can scan that QR code right there. Join Erick's Creative Real Estate Domination Live Networking Meetup, right? Eventually in the summer, by the time we probably spruce up to May and June, we'll be in-house here in Southern California if you want to. And they'll be online as well. That's what we'll be doing. And we're going to talk about everything creative real estate investing, any deals that are on the table. We'll do some Q&A. And then, yes, we're going to drop a proposal to you and say, hey, if you want to come aboard, this is what it is. This is what we got going on. If you want to jump on it, let's rock and roll. If it's a good fit, we'll take it off with a webinar. We'll follow up, and then we'll see if we're a good fit. If we are, we'll move forward. If not, that's okay. At least you had an opportunity, and maybe come back later or, whatever, or maybe not, right? It's totally up to you. And there's, a few reasons I won't get into, but it's easy peasy stuff. Everybody has to take care of the hard cost, and that's scan that QR code. That's how it works. I know that nobody does what we do. That was kind of interesting how someone's asking earlier, hey, what's the difference between this, these guys, and what you do? Well, that's one-on-one mentoring. Nobody does it, right? Nobody's going to help you get in there and do deals. Nobody's going to help you negotiate. Nobody's going to go through and put together strategies and extra strategies to share with you proprietary information that we have with you. And then to get those deals done, the byproduct is doing deals, right? We're going to do deals together. We're going to help you build your business. We're going to help you set up your business. Think of it as like a franchise without having to pay into franchising fees. If you want to scale up even bigger, then we'll help you do that. If it's just going to be you and your family and a couple of family members, great. If it's just going to be you by yourself, that's cool too. Hire out, but you're going to hire VAs or AI agents. Cool, we'll plug that in because we're tapping into the AI stuff. I get it, right? And if that's going to be part of it and that's what you want, then that's what we'll do. We'll plug in, right? But don't get a VA for nothing, or don't get a VA because they think they're going to do a better job than you, or you don't want to make calls. Then you're just shortchanging yourself, right? That's like saying, hey, I want to play basketball, but you know what? I don't want to shoot any hoops. You know what I mean? I want someone else to shoot those hoops for me. I want someone else on the team to do that. I just want to be the blocker or whatever, right? No, that's bullshit, right? Everybody has their position, their job, and what you're good at and skill set wise. But, in this business, if it's going to be you, you got to learn how to do those things, become the expert. So then you can train the other people. We'll help you train them. And then you can ride them to make sure that they're performing and getting you the results that you need. If you don't, and you're going to rely on them to think that they'll call 10,000 numbers. No problem. They'll call 20,000 numbers. And you might not get you a god darn freaking appointment. And you go, shit, that was a waste of money. Here all the freaking time, right? But it does work. As long as you manage them and you have your scripts and you do it right. But now everybody's moving to AI. Hey, I'll get rid of my 20 agents. I get rid of my 2 agents. And I'll get one AI with 20 agents, right? That shit's happening. So, but I'm not endorsing anything. I'm just kind of going through, doing research for that. And whether we want to tap in here and there, there's nothing like the human element, right? We're not, houses are not Carvana yet, right? You go buy it, look at it, and, RoboCop style. Yeah, I'll take it. Okay. Millennials are doing it. Don't get me wrong. Right? They're buying their shit. They're doing their loans. They're buying their cars all online. Okay. It is what it is. A little risky, but hey, they're taking a chance. That's cool. Got to take some risk, right? Or maybe they feel good about it because that's the way they were taught. They were born into technology. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this up pretty quick. Scan that QR code right there. Appreciate it. And pull this up real quick. I think it's VIP Execs Realty and Lending. Thank our sponsor. If you're interested and you're looking for a license and you want to grab a license and maybe you have one, you're looking for a new home, definitely reach out and touch bases with us. This is pretty cool. So there it is. This is just for watching and staying all the way through. Scan that QR code. It's our free Surfing for Deals. If you're looking for deals, I'm going to show you how to do that. There's some people that are doing it and it works, right? We're just adding a little bit more to it. We coined it Surfing for Deals or Driving for Dollars, Surfing for Dollars, whatever you want to call it. There'll be a video. You can watch the video. We're giving you a PDF, and then you're going to copy and paste. Boom, boom, boom. It works. You can use the websites. We specifically share with you what websites are the best. Then do your copy and paste, and it's going to blow up your phone and email with sellers that want. Here's the key, right? Want and need to sell. I want to sell. Real estate agents, perfect. I need to sell. Real estate investors, wholesalers, and everybody else. Okay. It works no matter what. And these are people so you're like fishing in an ocean where there's fish, right? They want to jump on the hook. They want to sell their property. So it's different than just pulling a bunch of data and throwing it out there. You can niche it down, but this is where people want to sell and need to sell, right? So it'll blow your phone up. You can probably get maybe 100, 150 leads, probably within 4 months. First week, you're going to have tons of leads, 30, 40, 50 of them, right? And you got to go through them all. If you can handle it, great. A lot of them, you're probably in the beginning, you're going to shit can a bunch of them because unless you got technology or CRMs all set up, you can do it with elbow grease, doesn't cost you a dime, or you can plug in some software, and boom, ramp that up, okay? This is my favorite thing right here. No cash, no credit, creative real estate investing, because that's what it was all about. And that's why I did it. I didn't want to put down 20%. I didn't want to get a loan. I didn't want to do hard money and have them take 15, 20, 25% of my bottom line based off of the interest rates and the down and how much it's going to cost for the 6-month pad, 3-month pad, right? Then I need repairs and I got to pay for the repairs and all that good stuff, right? Let alone take down the deal for 3 to 6 months, right? All the hard costs, keep the lights on and everything, right? So creative real estate came along. How do I do this? How can I buy a property for $10 or $100 and lock it up, right? You hear about that stuff. It's true. You can still do it in today's market. It's happening all day long. I just like to go after properties with equity. I'm a little old school. Give me properties with equity. I don't want, unless it's a juicy, awesome property and you're going to cash flow it and you're going to buy it forever and keep it, then that makes sense, right? If it's kind of like a property that's $400,000, it's worth $400,000, has a good interest rate. If you can cash flow it, great. If you can't cash flow it, that's kind of dangerous, right? Because when the market takes a shit, equity is going to go. but hopefully you can cash flow it. If you can cash flow it, you'll ride the storm out, right? Hindsight's 2020. Live and learn, right? Trust me on that one. At the end of the day, I appreciate you watching this far. Scan the QR code. I'm going to have one more up here, but scan that. Surfing for Deals. I might be able to put it in the chat. It's free. It's not going to cost you a dime. We're not charging anything for it right now. Anyways, let me see if I can put that in the chat. I believe it's right here. Yep, there it is. And you can grab that and jump in right there. Here you go. You can also scan that QR code. That's for the one-on-one mentoring program. We're looking for mentoring. You want to find the one where you can just book some time. It's just a link. It's easy peasy. Right there. That's probably it. No, that's not it. Let me just pull it up right here. There you go. We're going to change this one. This is what we got right there. We'll change this to the QR codes, and we're going to go with this. Should be right here. There you go. Scan that QR code right there. Book some time with myself. I believe it's 15, 20 minutes. If it goes longer, I'm not into the MLM thing. Oh, hold on. Hey, I got to go. I got 20,000 calls. No, I'll listen to you. I want to hear your story. I want to see if we're a good fit. You know, if we're a good fit, we're going to move forward. If not, that's okay. It'll be a quick call. Ask me any questions you want in regards to creative real estate investing, anything under that umbrella, including even the traditional side, right? Because I understand how that works and been there, done that, you know, with the listing stuff, buyer's agent, commercial properties, all that stuff, okay? And if you got a deal, you want to bring it to the table, bring it to the table. Let's work it. Let's break it down. Let's any way that I can help you. And if you feel that, hey, 9 times out of 10, because we're humans, right? You want to make it reciprocal in my way too. No problem. I'll pay it forward. Bring deals down the wire. Well, maybe we'll buy them from you. Okay. Don't know. Just got to, as long as you're underwriting correctly, right? And what's the worst case thing? What's the worst thing that can happen? Hey, maybe you want to come aboard and jump aboard our one-on-one mentoring program. Maybe it's coaching. Maybe it's something where we can help you in some capacity to help you move forward and help you get unstuck. That's the whole goal. Well, the AHA Americans helping Americans, one American at a time, one property at a time, one family at a time, doing our part to get America back on track together with you and others across the United States of America, and AMP Live, the American Mentee Program, the only program of its kind where we truly, and it's true, one-on-one mentoring to help you get to where you want to get to, right, in this creative real estate investing world. Powered by AMP Live Media, a media broadcasting company that we have put together for ourselves, as well as to service mentees that work with us exclusively, and sponsored by VIP Execs Realty and Lending. Scan that QR code, book some time with myself. I'd love to speak with you. You could also go to, I believe it's Facebook, social media, anywhere. DM myself. You can also go to, there's Erlene. Maybe I didn't pull it up here, but maybe I'm going to put this in the chat here, and you can get in touch with her. She'll set up an appointment. We'll chit chat. We'll talk for a good fit. She's actually working with us exclusively and with the recruiting of mentees. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. And I'm going to put it in the chat. Hang tight 1 second. Let's go here. It's blowing up here. Okay. Where is it at? There we go. We'll go here. We'll open Messenger. It's always something. Okay. No, I don't want to continue with that. Cancel. Let's go back here. 1 second. I'm going to put that up, and we'll go right here. Where's it at? Okay. Scan. Right there. Boom. There it is. Okay. Cool. Let me pull that up, and then I'm going to put it right in here. Send her a private message, and she'll get in touch with me, or we'll chit-chat and talk. She'll let me know. Okay. It'll be awesome. And she's going to help us moderate some of the webinars and things of that nature. And put a chat right here real quick. Scan that QR code. Got some people scanning it. Appreciate it. Just book that time. Don't be shy. Wish I had this available when I got started, right? I had to call a lot of people and bug a lot of people. Can you help me? Pick their brains. take them to lunch when I couldn't afford lunch, and still pick their brains, agents, brokers, investors, any way that I could get them to listen to me. That's what I did, right? And then reverse engineer as much as possible, and then decide, how do I want my business to be perceived? I don't want to do that, but I want to do that. I don't like that, but I like that. Kind of like Sam Walton did with his Walmart store. Sam Walton, read the book. It's an awesome book. And how he built out Walmart and the super centers. And then Sam's Club was his brother's idea and things of that nature. But he looked at other companies, took what he wanted, saw that they weren't doing it very good, or maybe they were, but he brought it into his company and made it better, or just adopted it, right? So same thing. That's what business is all about, with the exception of the Chinese crap, right? It means you don't want to steal someone's shit and do it worse, right? You want to make it better, right? You want to make it made in America, right? Made in America. Let's get back to that in customer service. Scan that QR code. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Tomorrow is the Sunday sermon, but it's Easter. So God bless you, and God we trust. Rock and roll in all that you do. It's Easter, so have a very, very awesome time with your friends and family, and don't eat too many freaking eggs and tequila and Coronas and beer and food. I get it. Be safe. Be aware, because there are people that are going to party and drink, right? So, it's got to be safe out there, right? And help your fellow Americans, right? Just pay it forward. Step up when someone needs some help, right? Be the first one to go in when there's a fire, right? I'm not saying to do that, but I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But that's just me. That's what I do. I'll be the first one to go in when there's a fire, someone getting beat up, or there's a fight. I'm going to go see someone that needs help. I'm going to make it happen, right? But of course, you got to be aware, because you don't know, they're kookaluku, right? There's a lot of weirdo wankers out there these days, right? Online, offline, and everywhere. So just be aware. Have fun. Be awesome. Hopefully this was some value to you, and watch it back and forth. It's going to be on here live. You can watch it back and forth. It's going to be on YouTube, so you can always go back to YouTube and watch that son of a bitch over and over. Facebook is going to start deleting this stuff after 30 days. So as we go live, they'll delete, but we delete them. We download them, and then we chop them up, monetize them. There'll be shorts on TikTok and YouTube and LinkedIn and all that good stuff all across social media platforms. Go check them out. Go check it out. Go to #GetErickPaulLive, #GetErickPaulLive. If you thought this was valuable to you and you got to, hey, definitely share it, right? I appreciate it. Share it, love, pass on the good word. We appreciate that. I'm Erick from AHA, the Amp Live Real Estate Show. Usually tomorrow should be the Sunday sermon. I may or may not come out, but we're going to be back for Mindset Money Monday. Tuesdays and Thursdays are field days, so we'll either be out in the field, be rocking and rolling, talking about stuff, or deals, or looking at deals and writing up deals. Wellness Wednesday, and then back to Friday for Friday highlights and the pulse of real estate. In other words, all the information that I gather from mentees and talking with people across the United States of America, I'm going to tap into it and say, hey, here's the trend that's happening. This is where it's going, or where it's going to go, or this is what's popping, what's not popping. Kind of like we did today, right? What's the good and the bad and the ugly of what? Trying to lock up deals on the phone versus belly to belly. So here's the outcome. The first one works. Everything works, right? But you're going to go through a lot of leads. You're going to go through a lot of calls, and you're going to go through the 50-50, throw the spaghetti at the wall. If you do what we do and maybe take some of that advice, maybe or maybe not, it's totally up to you, right? And go with a little bit of the high trust selling, straight selling, and the mission is the submission, then you're going to build a better relationship with that seller, and you'll probably get a better deal, okay? Your closing ratios are going to get better. And go that route. It's okay, right? Get it done. If you can get it done, just make sure you're working the rest, right? Quality over quantity. Quantity you can deal with AI and all that good stuff. Second one, it's my favorite, belly to belly. Just going to make more money. I get it. It's more work, but it's not more work when it's your flow, when it's your process. It's like anything else. Once you have a process, I always say kind of like McDonald's when they make their Big Mac, right? There's 3 people making a freaking Big Mac, but they pop out tons and tons of Big Macs, right? So can you do that with making phone calls and that's the Big Mac? Yeah, but it tastes like a shitty Big Mac, right? Because it's 50-50 and it's not much substance, but you'll get it done and you'll get deals and you'll make money, right? The other route, while you're building, you're getting 3 or 4 people making that Big Mac. You're going to roll it out. It's going to taste delicious 99% of the time, right? And that's it. I think that's a better model as far as I'm concerned. But as you grow and expand, can you use both? Of course you can. You got a department for your belly to belly. You got a department for your spaghetti on the wall action, right? every type of transaction you can start doing, right? You know, you can put departments together based on that, on your acquisitions and who's going to feed those leads and types of leads, right? Just as you expand and grow until it doesn't, because times will change, right? Things will change. The way things work will change. Everything with technology starts changing. Regulations start happening, right? The market starts shifting and changing. So you need to adjust, adapt, or you will perish. I say adjust, adapt, and rock. So without further ado, have an awesome, awesome Saturday. Be safe, be good. Don't pound too much alcohol and smoke all that, crazy ganja stuff, right? Just be, focus here. Focus on your family and life. And that's it, right? Any questions, reach out. Look forward to this. I love doing this stuff. I appreciate it. Hopefully you watch it. You can watch it back and forth and all that good stuff on the platforms. Go to YouTube. It's there. We usually just use that as a housing place, but I guess we got to start building out the channel like everybody else, right? I get it. I'm just, I like going with what works, and then all the other stuff, I get it. It's there. We got to do it. It's part of business. You adjust and adapt. Same for you, right? So we're here to help you. We're here to rock and roll with you. Scan that QR code, book some time. And if you're like, you know what, I just want to get started. How do I get started? I need a mentor. Let's roll, right? We'll get into it, set up the call. It can be easy peasy. I want to know more about you. And hopefully, I'll share I've shared a little chunk of what I'm about and vice versa. And if it's a good fit, we will move forward together, okay? That's my promise to you, all right? So you'll never be left by yourself, period. And as long as you show up. If you don't show up, shame on you, right? We're always going to show up to the party, all right? So 90%, as Cardone said, is showing up, and then 99% is what? Mindset. That's the same thing. Yes, I keep saying it until people get their aha moments, right? And go, boom, aha, now I understand. What the hell is he talking about? Talking in language, or he says the same stuff. Yes, because it's out there, put it out there in the universe, right? Everything is connected, right? You get out there and you pray, or you connect to the universe, and it'll bring it forth if you believe in it. You have to believe in it with feeling and emotion to make things happen, okay? So without further ado, once again, rock and roll in all that you do. In God we trust, made in America. Let's get back to made in America, okay? I'm going to sign off here. Hopefully this was awesome. We'll see you Thursday, okay? Thursday, 2 p.m. Scan the QR code. I'll put it up before we wrap, and then we'll go from there, okay? Hey, Erlene, how's it going? All right, boom, there it is. Cool. Let me show that. Cool. Whoops, there you go. I put that in there. All right. Let's go back up here, scan this. Or I want to share this with you, not that one. That's a coaching thingy. Let's get back to the Saturday training. Boom, we'll wrap that up right there. So hopefully enjoyed Saturday training. Don't forget to go here and sign up. There should be a QR code. I'm going to bring that QR code up so you can just scan the QR code. And also I'm going to put it in the chat towards the end as well real quick. I believe it's right here. Boink. You can scan that QR code for Thursday. And then I'm going to pull it up and put it in the chat as well. There you go. Pinned. What do we have pinned? Oh, there you go. Cool. All righty. All right. There it is. Okay. Got one more here, and then I'm just going to leave it. Let's do, all right, is it right here? Is that the one? That's for the Domination webinar. Be there, be square. Oh, this is good. There you go. Book a live call. I believe this is the one right there, right? There it is. Okay, so lock in your spot. That's for the one-on-one mentoring program. Real Estate Domination live webinar is Thursday. Be part of those if you can. But I'm going to leave you now. Awesome. Take care of yourself. Like I said, if you have any questions, definitely reach out. Hopefully you enjoyed today's live in regards to, the locking up deals on the phone versus belly to belly, right? They're both good. That's all I'm going to say. They're both good. You can set up businesses for each one. They both work, right? But in the beginning, I say go belly to belly, become the expert, the art of the deal, right? High trust selling. straight line selling, put them together. We call it the art of the deal or the Amp Life method. Become the expert, right? And that's the beautiful thing when I got my mentor. And then I'll leave you with this. I got my mentor shaved off 3 to 5 years, right, of spinning my wheels because I piggybacked off his 40 years of experience, okay? You're going to piggyback off of my experience, and we're going to work with you and help you out and get you to where you need to get to, okay? That's my promise to you. As long as you show up and you do what you need to do and have a leap of faith with us. I want to say thank you to all past, present, future mentees of America. Rock and roll in all what you do. Keep on rocking. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.